Hello guys, welcome. Today we will be deploying a Node.js application using a Postgres database to render using Github Actions. So you may want to ask, what's Github Actions? Github Actions is a powerful feature that allows you to automate, customize, and execute your software development workflows right from your repository, right from here. You can use it to build, test, and deploy your code on any event in your GitHub repository. So right now we are on a repository. It's a Fruit app I built some time ago, and I'm going to be leaving the link on the description of this video, and so you can go clone it and follow along. So um, I believe you already know how to clone this. So you just come to this green icon here, code, and say HTTPS. So you copy this, and you can go to your terminal and git clone. So I'll copy this and git clone this. So I already have this on my local machine, so I don't need to do that. So what I'll do is I'm going to navigate to that directory. Yeah. I think I can remember. Okay, so that's it. So we're in that directory. So I'll just ls to see the content of the directory. Yeah, exactly. So this is exactly what we want. So I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. Yeah, so we have Visual Studio Code open. So as you can see, this is the solutions directory. So this is everything we have here. So we have our server.js file. So let me try and close all of this. Exactly. So we have our server.js file. So it contains the code we've written already. So you can also go through this. So this is a sample application that has a seed. I'm going to be showing you the seed here. Come to the DB seeder here. So we seed some fruits. So the fruits have names, color, price, season, when they were created, and when it was updated. So I think we have just five objects. We seeded five fruits to our Postgres database, and we can come here to our server.js. So this is where we have our implementation. So as you can see here, we're importing Express, SQLize. So SQLize is an ORM, that's an object relational mapper for uh, mapping objects to SQL. So it's pretty nice. I would have a subsequent video about SQLize and how to work with it. So for now, what it does here is allows us to have a connection with our Postgres database, and we have this function test connection to test if our connection is live and all of that. So in this project, we're doing migrations, we're doing seeding, and we're uh, querying our database. So quickly, let's just run this. So we can do npm stats. So I have node mode running. So we can see on the terminal here that the server is up and running on port 3000. So we can see that our database connection has been fully established. So let's come to Postman and let's do local HTTP local hosts port 3000. Let's see. So we're getting Fruits API development environment. So let's come back to our project, and we can see that the full part of the route was not complete. So we can copy this and paste here and do another get request. Yeah, so we have all our fruits. We have apple, banana, cherry, grape, and orange. So we can also query and say name, say grape, and we get a grape. So we also have full text search from Postgres enabled automatically on the project. So if I enter G on the name, it still returns grape. Full text search is very, very powerful tool, and it comes right out of the box using Postgres. So Postgres is really interesting and a very powerful database, and I use them a lot in my development. So yeah, so that's that. So we can also write queries for other queries like color, see red, can take this out. Yeah, so I get that cherry and apple have the color red. So really cool feature. I can do R and still get this full text search. So you can see on our terminals, the SQL is being executed. So I have Postgres running on my local machine, and this project is up and running on our local machine. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to deploy this to render using GitHub Actions. So the first thing we're going to do is go back to our browser, and I'm going to go to render. So yeah, I'm going to leave the link to render on my video description. So you can do render, turns are open. So I can log into render here, and I have the GitHub Actions, or rather GitHub, as my SSO. Yeah, so I'm logged in. So you can create an account on Render. So Render allows you to deploy even your pet projects. You want to test out what you've been building on your local machine. You can come to Render and do just that. And you can also have your production code running here too. So they have plans. You can have development plans or production plans. You can do them right on Render. Render is a pretty great tool for deploying your application. Shout out to Render. So yeah, we are here, and as you can see, I already have some projects running. My email cleaner script I built some time back. I'm going to be doing another video showing you how to build an email cleaner script and all of that. So that's not what we're doing today. So let's create a new project. So in this project, we're going to have our Fruit app, and we're going to have our Postgres database. So let's do just that. So we can create a new project and call this, oh, I'm on a free plan, so I can create multiple projects. Interesting. So let's just come to transaction management projects that I created some time back. And you can see we have a development environment and a production environment. So I'm going to be deploying both applications on this development environment here. So I can come here and I can create this plus icon. I can create a new project, a new service. So let's do that. Okay, it's trying to come up. Where did it go? Yeah, exactly. So let's try to create a new service. Yeah. So we have a number of services, static sites, websites. So what we're concerned is with, let's start by creating our database first. So let's come here, new PostgreSQL. Yeah. So I can call this FruitsDB. Yeah. Yeah, development. Hmm. Okay, for our user, we can say FruitsDB admin. Yeah, version 16 is fine. So we want a free tier, so we just want to test out what we've built locally. So we can leave all of this and come here and create your database. Oh, we can have more than one free tier database. Oh, that's interesting. So let's come here and I already have this running. So I want to delete this so that we can, yeah. Yeah, so let me delete this database I have here so that we can create another one. Yeah. Okay, deleted. I think I also want to delete this too. I'm not sure I'm using it, so just delete it. Scroll down, stuff. Yeah, come here, sudo delete. Okay, so I'm not sure we're gonna have any blockers going forward. So let's try to create a new service. Yeah, PostgreSQL, a new Postgres database. So we say FruitsDB. Then we can say user FruitsAdminDB. Yeah. Then let's try to create this. Okay. Oh, we don't need to do that. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I think where you can select the free plan and it doesn't prompt you to do that. Yeah. So our database is creating in the background. So look at how easy it is to create a database using Render. Really, really fast. Really, really fast. So while that is creating in the background, let's come back here and let's try to create our app. So we can come here and this plus icon, create new service. Yeah, it's a web service. Yeah, so we have this fruit app here. So we can see fruit app here. So we can select this, then scroll down and connect. So we want to be able to deploy this. And the beautiful thing about this is you can actually deploy this project right from your GitHub repository. You don't need GitHub Actions to do this. Now, the reason I'm using GitHub Actions for this project is because I want to be able to run migrations, seed to my database um, right on the go. And I can't do that by just connecting this to render. So I want to be able to run my migrations when I deploy. So I'm going to be doing all of that using GitHub Actions. So stay right to the very end. It promises to be exciting. So yeah, so it's a Fruits app. And yeah, so you can see number of languages you can deploy to. There's Go, which I love. Then there's Python, there's Ruby, there's Rust. There's also, you can also deploy using your Docker containers. You can deploy your Docker containers directly here. So maybe sometime in the future, we're gonna have a video where we deploy our Docker container. Yeah. So yeah, it's on branch main. Yeah. So we can do dots here. But if you have your project in another directory, you have to navigate to that directory, maybe src also. But we have it in dots here. That's fine. Build command npm install. Yeah, perfect. So start command, we use npm stats npm stats. So we have node one installed on our project, so it just started instantly. So we can use the free tier here. Yeah, so you can see all the instance types and all the tiers: starter, pro, pro max, standard, pro plus, pro ultra. So whatever you're trying to deploy or whatever project, you can actually use render. It's massive. If you don't want to you don't want to battle the cost of deploying to the big boys. I mean, big boys, Azure, GCP, AWS, you can absolutely use render. So I have environment variables. So if I have environment variables in this project, then I can upload them here. So, and beautiful thing, you can just come add the file and it does the upload automatically. So let's go back to our project and check our env variables. So we can see we have this. So I can take this out if I want to, and I can come here, copy this, come back here, paste it, and add variables, and it does it automatically. Makes life really, really easy. Really, really easy. Now, this is our local database URL. So if we try to deploy with this, it'll crash, but that's fine. Um, I think we can check back. Our database should be created now. Yep. Yep. Available. So we can see our database has been created successfully. Yes. So here are the credentials. So I can copy this. You can see these are my credentials here, all of this. So I can use the external URL. You can also use the internal URL if your service is inside of render. But I just prefer to use the external database URL. You can use the internal and their pecs. Like it is faster using the internal database URL because obviously they're in the same region and all of that. So so I'll just copy the external database URL. You can use the internal. So I can come here and instead of this, I can replace it with this. Interesting. Then I can, yeah, this works fine. Okay, we can deploy our service really fast. I think there is a mistake I've made. I didn't want it to auto deploy, so but we can change that setting here. Yeah, we can change that. So we can edit this auto deploy. We can set it to no. So I'm supposed to come to the advanced section, and on auto deploy I set it to no. So but I didn't do that. So yeah. So we can come back here and we see that app is actually building and it's actually deploying. Yeah, so it's in progress right now. So we can leave that and come over here. And so we want to be able to set up our project or rather deploy our project using GitHub Actions. So with GitHub Actions, you can build, you can test, you can run migrations, and you can deploy your code to whatever server you have. So to do that, I'll come back to GitHub repository, see where we have Actions tab here. So we can click on Actions tab and wait for that to load up here. So we have a number of templates, all of that, so you can check this out. So the one we're going to be using is this here. Yeah, so we're going to be using this publish Node.js package. So there are a number of other packages that you can come check out, but our concern here is this one here. So I click on configure. Yeah, so it gives me a template, beautiful template. So I can change this here to, oh no, no. Cancel changes. Yep. Yeah, so let me come back here. So configure. Exactly. So I'm just going to change this here to deploy the YAML, and then I'm going to delete all of this. So we're going to start entering our commands. So with GitHub Actions, you have to create the workflow, which we've done. We're going to start defining our jobs, and then we're going to try to run our workflow. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give our workflow a name, and let's call it Fruits App Deployments. Yep. So we have this red squiggly line showing that there's something missing here. What could that be? Yep. So we've defined this, and very something you have to take into cognizance is indentation here. If you miss the indentation, the workflow won't run. So pay attention to that. You can come here, and then we can move a step inside, and we can say push. So we want to be able to push to render from our main branch. So we can come down here and do tab in branches. So you can deploy to different branch. So if you have your dev branch for your development environment, your main branch for your production environment, all of that, you can do that using this branches job step here. So I can select main because my code is on main. Then come down here and I can come to on. Yeah, so I can do jobs. So I'm going to be defining all the jobs right here. Tab build. So what I want to do is I want this build, this workflow to run on Ubuntu Linux. Tab runs on Ubuntu. Okay. So I'm going to define all the steps here. So say steps. So we say name. Then we say checkouts code. So users actions checkouts at v2. Then we have another job. Say setup Node.js users actions / setup node at v2 with. So here we will we want to deploy or want to run this workflow using the Node version 20. So you can use the version that's current as at so the version current to me at the time of publishing this video is the version 20, so I'm going to use it. So whatever version your code was built with locally, you can use that version. So my version is version 20, so that works. So I'm going to define another job here. So I'm going to install dependencies. Okay, so my working directory is dot, that's my working directory, the roots of the project. So I'm going to run npm install. Okay. Then I'll come here. I also have another job. I'll call that debug database URL. So remember the name, debug database URL. So I have the environment. So we're gonna have environment variables on our workflow, and we can add the environment variables directly. So we're going to use our repository secrets to add a database, or rather our secrets. So we're going to have our database URL, which we don't want to expose on this workflow. And then we're going to have our render API key, which we also don't want to expose on this workflow. So we're going to have them in our repository secrets. Cool. So we have the env here. We can indent and do database URL. So database URL must be the same on the env file, which is the one here. So this database URL must be the same here. So we can do database URL. This. That's how we enter secrets. Secrets dot database URL. Okay. And so that one, we can do run here. So one debugging for our database URL is actually good. Okay. So we can do this. And we can try to echo. Those who have used PHP would know what echo means. Echo is more like console.log in JavaScript, or console.writeline in C#. URL structure check. So say sanitized. Come here, say echo. Yeah, so database URL. Third. So we're gonna have something that looks like regex here for sanitation. Okay. Yeah, that looks confusing. Then we have also another echo. Say protocol check. So checks the protocol. Protocol check. Okay. Then we see echo database URL. Cuts D FL. So what this basically will help us do is check if our URL structure, our database URL structure is actually sanitized, whether there are no spaces or anything malformed. So if our database URL is malformed, so this check will be done, and it will kill the workflow so that it doesn't deploy to our database, causing issues, deploying the bug. Yep. So now we can move over to the next job, which is we want to be able to run migrations. So we have migrations on our project, and we want to be able to move those migrations to our database. So we don't want to run them on the terminal manually. We want to automate them using Github Actions. Interesting, right? So we can run migrations. Then we have an env here, say the database URL. So we have this, copy this, paste here. Then we have come back here, say working directory. We have dot as our working directory. So then we have our run command. So we're going to run this using npx sequelize. So sequelize is our ORM, so we're using that. Sequelize db migrate. So we have another job step. We want to be able to build, or rather run our seeds. So we can say run seed, or say seed to database. So we're going to do the same thing. We have an env here, and say database URL. Just copy this. I'll copy everything here, and yeah, copy this. That works fine. Database URL. Now for the run command, instead of npx equalize CLI migrate, do I remember? Yeah, I think I have this inside my package.json here, or package.log, I guess. Oh, I think I don't have it. Mm, okay. So I can say nps db, I think seed all. I think not too sure. Okay, let's say sequelize, sequelize command for seeding. Okay. Yeah, so sequelize dbcdo. So we can come back here. Was that dbcdo? Seed all. Okay. So let's come back to overflow db seed. Yeah, so we get to forget these things from time to time because we don't use them every day. So now we can go ahead to build our projects. So we can say build projects. So we have a working directory. So we say directory start. Then our run command here is npm run build. So yeah, we've built. At this point, we've run our build. So now we can start deploying to render. So I say name deploy to render. So we use this, give momentum, momentum, render, deploy at main. Yeah, we have a service ID. So I'm going to show you how we're going to get that. So also we're going to be using secrets to save that. So it's not going to be on our workflow. Say render service ID. Then we have an API key. So I'm also going to be showing you how you're going to get your API key from render. Secrets dot render API key. So also going to have say collect hash, say false, wait deploy, false, GitHub deployment, going to set as false, deployments, environments, very important, developments. Cool. So after this, yeah, we can have another job step that tells us the deployment was successful. So we'll say notify deployment success. If success, so if it's successful, print deployments succeeded. Yeah, so that's basically everything we need to do. So we have the name, we have what the branch we want to deploy from. Then we have the jobs step here, set up Node.js, install dependency, debug database URL, run migrations, seed to database, build projects, rent, and deploy to render. Interesting. So now before we will run this, we would have to set up our database URL, render service ID, our render API key. Yeah, so that's that way we can deploy. So what we're going to do is come to settings, then you're going to open on another tab here. So as we come here, we see our Fruits app has been deployed. Yeah, but it's failing. We're going to address all of these errors. We're going to address all of these errors. So yeah, we can come to our settings here and we can scroll down. It's where we have secrets and variables. Click on it, actions. We're trying to open our actions here. Yeah, so we want to define our repository secrets. So in our workflow file, we have database URL, render service ID, and the render API key. We're going to define them in our repository secrets. So we can come here and create new repository secrets. Yeah, so we have database URL. So let's come here to our database, external database URL, and copy this. And we can paste this here. I think there's something SSL required. Let me check that. Say PostgresDB deploy SSL required something. Okay, I did that deployment some time ago. I'm trying to remember. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Um, so let me use GitHub Copilot, or rather Bing Pilot. I use that a lot in development when I get confused like this. Okay, say PostgresDB connection string with SSL. Yeah, trying to remember. Yeah, so this is what I'm trying to remember. SSL mode. So I can go back. Thank you. Yeah, and secrets. So SSL mode is equal to required. Yeah. So I can save this. Then we create a new secret. That's our render API key. Yeah. So let's go back to render. So you can come here, say account settings. Yeah, so come to API key. So we have development, production, all of that. So you need to create a new key here, and the keys are created just once. So I'm going to delete this because I don't think I no longer have this. So I can revoke the API key and can create a new one, say developments. That's my development key. So this API key will apply to your development environment. So I can create the key here. So I can see this key, I can copy this and come back here and add that. Add secrets. Okay, so I can also create the service ID, or yeah, the secrets for the service ID. Yes, I can come back here. Done. Now, how do I get the service ID of the app I want to deploy to? I can come here. You can see this URL after /web/ this is the service URL, the service ID rather, everything here. So you can copy that easily. Come back here, paste, add secrets. Interesting. So we've added our repository secrets. We can come here. So after doing that, we can run this project. So let's come here. You see it's showing up a lot of errors. Let's come back to settings and confirm that our auto deploy is no, set to no. Yeah. So let's come back to our GitHub workflow and commit our changes. So create deploy. Yeah. So yeah, we've committed that. So let's check our GitHub Actions here. We can see we have our workflow trying to run. Let's hope it runs completely. Else we have to start fixing some bugs. I just hope. I never get a one-time run. Always get a feedback, fix bugs here and there. So, but I think this should work. It's taking some time to open. Yeah, so it failed. So let's see why a build failed. Okay, so I think there's something wrong with that command. Yeah, so let's go back here and fix it. So I can edit this file here. So I think the problem is here, somewhere here. So we have S. Okay. I think I see the error. So I'm missing something here. So I'm supposed to have this. Okay. So I think this should work now. Yeah, so let's go check our build pipeline now. Yeah, so our build is complete. So we can see it was able to debug database error, run migration, see its database, build the project, and also deploy to render. So let's go confirm that from our app here. So we can come to events. So we can see here, triggered via your API. So we have a new deployment on the way. So it's going to take a few moments, and thereafter we should be good. So it's deploying now. Interesting. So we see that with GitHub Actions, we've been able to um, run migrations, see to our database, and also build using our CI/CD pipeline. So I don't have to run that locally. I just had to um, specify jobs that would do that automatically for me. So you write your code, you need to seed stuff to the database. You don't have to bother yourself trying to run that on the CLI. All you just have to do is automate that using your workflow. So we're waiting for our CI/CD pipeline, or rather for our build to deploy, and it's taking quite some time. So, but let's give it a moment, and we should be up. Well, so yeah, so our deployment is live, and we can see on the logs here that our database connection has been fully established. So let's go to the URL created for us by render. So I can come here, and yeah, you can see our Fruit API development environment is live. Job well done for us. So let's change the URL here. Let's take this out, copy this, come back here. Yep. Let's take this out first. Let's see if our, yeah, interesting. So we get, we can see that our data was seeded, our migrations were run successfully. So let's try to query. So we can see color. We want color red. Yeah, so it's able to retrieve that for us. You can see name, I want Apple. Yeah, see, I want Apple. So we can see it also has our full text. Okay, Apple here. Yeah, interesting. So we can also query by the season. say fall. Yeah, so these are all the fruits with the season fall. So we see our app runs perfectly. So yeah, that's about everything. So you see how easy it was for us to set up a CI/CD pipeline or workflow using GitHub Actions, create a database, create the application, and deploy directly. So it's a very beautiful experience. So if we make new push, so I can come to our projects here and let me just do this. Come here and say Server.js. Let's say Fruits API. Okay, so let's create one more endpoint. Just a very simple endpoint to test that our pipeline will be able to build this successfully. Here, so we can say health. Okay, come here and say API open running. Yeah, that's good. So let's npm start, see that it works. Can come here and do localhost / health. See, API is up and running, so let's deploy that. Kill this. Let's deploy added health check endpoints. Let's just not commit directly. Let's commit and push. Yes. So we're trying to commit now to our database, or rather, we're trying to commit to render. Yep. So we've committed to GitHub, and we come here. Yeah. So we can see we have a new commit that's building in the pipeline. Yeah. So we see it's successful already. Really quick, 13 seconds. Yep. We come to our Fruit API here. Come to logs, or rather events. Yeah. So we see deploy triggered by your API. So we have our GitHub workflow up and running. So it's trying to deploy right now. Give it a moment. All right. So our app is up and running. So let's, yep. So we're live again. So let's come here and let's do /health. Yep. API up and running. So that's about everything. Thank you guys.